I opened my eyes. A sharp pain shot through my arm. I rolled up my long sleeve. I saw lines of tiny words carved into my skin. There's a monster hiding in this house. Every time it kills me, I get stuck in a time loop and lose all my memories. I mark my arm each time I die. Right below these words, 3 messy tally marks were carved there. The words on my arm gave me the creeps. If this is all true, that means the monster has killed me 15 times. But as far as I can remember, I just went to sleep at home. Did I get killed again in the last loop and had my mind wiped clean? I must be at the start of a new loop now. Come to think of it, I've actually died 16 times, not 15. I got up to grab a craft knife, to carve a new mark on my arm, but the knife was already right beside my pillow. I always keep it inside a drawer normally. This proved I definitely used the knife before. I didn't hesitate any longer. I quickly carved another mark on my arm. After I finished, I put the knife in my pocket. Then I felt a piece of paper in my pocket. There were messy red words written on it. The monster is tampering with my memories. Trust no one. Not even myself. I put the note back in my pocket. I bowed my head and thought for a moment. My memories get erased every loop. But from this note, marks left on objects stay intact and never get wiped away. I've died 16 times already. In all those past loops, I must have left clues for myself. I still know almost nothing about the monster. I need to find more clues first, if I want to break this loop. With that in mind, I started searching the bedroom. Soon I found 2 more notes in the corner. These loops won't go on forever. If I can't escape within a set number of tries, I'll die for good. The monster is a master of lies and hiding the truth. It can take human form, but I suspect it can't kill whenever it wants. It has to meet certain conditions first. I haven't figured out what those conditions are yet. These notes were definitely written by me before. After reading them, I hid them back in place. If I fail to escape again this loop, these will be hope for my next self. Right after I put all notes away, I heard scratching sounds from behind me. It was coming from the bathroom door. I noticed the door was fully closed. I never close the bathroom door normally, so who's in there? Could it be the monster? Then loud banging started on the door. I panicked and tried to run for the exit, but my hand touched the doorknob, and I froze in place. Wait a second. If it really was the monster, why couldn't it just break out easily? Also, if the bathroom was dangerous, my past selves would have left a warning. It wouldn't even need to be complicated. They could have just carved a note on my arm. Something simple like stay away from the bathroom. Thinking about it, it probably isn't too dangerous. After thinking it over, I grabbed a paper and wrote quickly. Strange noises coming from the bathroom. I'm going to check it out. If there's no new writing below this, that means I got killed. The bathroom is extremely dangerous. If I make it back safely, I'll write safe to enter right here. This is a warning for my future self. In case I don't survive this time, I put the note into my pocket. Then I slowly walked toward the bathroom. I reached out to turn the doorknob. The second my hand touched it, all the banging suddenly stopped. I fought back my fear and twisted the knob open fast, but there was absolutely nothing inside. How is this possible? If nobody was in there, where did those sounds come from? I stepped inside to look around. Suddenly red words appeared on the wall. Help me! Let me out! I got totally startled. I turned around to leave. Yet the red words vanished just as quickly. What is going on here? Either way, at least there's no immediate danger. I headed back to the bedroom. I took out the note from my pocket and added more words below. The bathroom is safe, but really weird. First I heard scratching on the door, then loud banging. After that, red writing showed up on the wall. I suspect there's a secret hidden here. Better stay away from it. I put the note back in my pocket. Then I pulled out my phone and hit record. I slipped the phone into my pocket to secretly record everything. Once ready, I opened my bedroom door. I was ready to see something terrifying, but the living room looked completely normal. Mom was cooking in the kitchen. Dad sat on the couch scrolling his phone. My sister wasn't in the living room. She was probably hanging out in her room. I started to doubt if the monster was even real. Maybe it was all just my imagination. Wait, the monster can take human form. One of them could have been replaced already. I couldn't let my guard down. Just then, Mom suddenly called out to me. Jay, I gotta take a call. Keep an eye on this stew for me. Don't let it burn. Sure, no problem. I walked over to the kitchen. Since I didn't know who the monster was, I decided to act just like usual, and not act suspicious at all. I didn't want to raise any red flags. A beef and potato stew simmered on low heat. Nothing seemed off in the kitchen. Then Mom spoke to me again. I forgot to add the seasonings earlier. Add some salt and MSG, okay? Got it. I reached to open the cabinet for the spices. The second the door swung open, thick black smoke billowed out. I accidentally inhaled the smoke. Instantly, I dropped to the floor screaming in pain. Then everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, a sharp pain shot through my arm once more. I rolled up my sleeve. I stared in shock at the carved words. There's a monster hiding in this house. Every time it kills me, I get stuck in a time loop and lose all my memories. I mark my arm each time I die. Right below these words, 3 full tally marks plus 1 extra stroke were there. After a quick thought, I carved 1 more stroke on my arm. Next, I found several notes in my pocket. I found more notes around the room too. Dying by the monster triggers a time loop. Loops have a limited number of tries. The monster can turn into a human. It can rewrite people's memories. It can only kill under certain conditions. I quickly processed all the information. These were all left by my past selves. But one note confused me a lot. It mentioned scratching noises and red writing in the bathroom. I glanced suspiciously at the bathroom door. I waited for a long time but heard nothing. I worked up courage and checked the bathroom again. No red words appeared this time. Weird, nothing matches what was written. The note said the monster loves tricking people and altering memories. Is this all a trap set by the monster? Did it make all this up to mess with me? I couldn't jump to conclusions. I just stayed extra cautious. There were no more clues left in the room. I decided to open the door and see what's going on in the living room. If my guess was right, the monster can only erase my memories each loop, but can't remove marks on physical objects. I could use my phone to record secretly and document everything that happens. I pulled out my phone to hit record and found there was already an audio file saved. I held the phone up to my ear and started listening. Jay, I gotta take a call. Keep an eye on this stew for me. Don't let it burn. Sure, no problem. I forgot to add the seasonings earlier. Add some salt and MSG, okay? Got it. The recording ended with a scream. At that exact moment, another scream echoed from outside my door. The two screams sounded identical. What in the world is happening? What really took place back then? I had to find out. I walked straight into the living room and turned on my phone recorder again. Dad was still sitting on the couch using his phone. Mom was cooking stew in the kitchen. When she saw me come out, she said the exact same lines from the recording. Jay, I gotta take a call. Keep an eye on this stew for me. Don't let it burn. My whole body tensed up in fear. I can't agree this time. I died right after I agreed to help last time. I couldn't see what happened visually, but I could feel the despair in my own voice. Judging by the timeline on the audio, that was the moment the monster killed me. Is my real mom replaced by the monster? It can only kill when certain rules are met. Back in the last loop, what exactly did I do to trigger its killing condition? I had no clue at all, but my gut told me not to repeat the same mistake. I put on a troubled look and spoke up. Mom, my boss is starting an online meeting right now. Asked Dad to watch the stew instead. It went quiet in the kitchen for a while. After a moment, Mom spoke again. Soup spilled over, I need a rag. I hung it out on the balcony yesterday. Go grab one for me. I was really nervous, but I refused to do what the monster wanted. I kept making excuses. I can't. This meeting is super important. You don't want me getting in trouble at work, right? Silence fell once again. A long time passed before Mom talked again. This time her voice sounded cold and stiff. Come here and carry this pot for me. Mom, I really can't step away. I pretended to focus on my meeting, while my mind raced a mile a minute. Suddenly Mom jumped right in front of me. She was holding a big cooking pot. Jay, why won't you listen to me? Thick black smoke poured out of the pot. I breathed in the smoke. I collapsed, screaming in agony. I lost consciousness quickly. The next second I woke up from sharp pain. I checked my arm and all the notes, and realized I was stuck in another loop. This was my 18th death. I pulled out my phone and saw 2 new recordings. I clicked on the first file, confused. Right as I let out a scream, another scream came from the living room. But these 2 screams didn't sound the same. In the first recording, my scream came from inside the kitchen. The other scream was clearly from the living room. Then I listened to the second recording. On the second track, my scream matched exactly the one from the living room. After listening to both files, I was certain about one thing. Mom is definitely the monster in disguise. She was directly responsible for my last 2 deaths. I still needed to figure out what triggered its ability to kill. I thought hard and replayed the audio. I sped up the recordings and listened again. A theory slowly formed inside my head. The only thing I did before dying both times was talk back and forth with Mom. Does it need to have a full conversation of at least 3 lines to kill? Is that its hidden rule? But that didn't fully add up.
I have figured out that I can apply a method of agree once, be silent once, refuse once. As such, no matter what its human-like conditions are, I can effectively avoid them. If both don't work, well, I'll just have to accept my bad luck. Once I had made up my mind, I prepared to open the door. But at that moment, the monster proactively knocked. Little Jai, why are you still not up? Dinner is ready, come out and eat. Okay, I'm coming right out. I agreed to its first request. Then, I walked out to the living room. Don't just stand there, come help me get the bowls and chopsticks. I stood still, neither helping her nor directly expressing a refusal. For this second request, I chose to remain silent. Little Jai, go call your sister for dinner. She's really something, having to be called every single time. I'm not going. If you want her to eat, go call her yourself. I chose to refuse the monster's third request. The moment I uttered that final refusal, I noticed my mother's expression contort into a hideous, twisted grimace for a fleeting second. Did I guess wrong? She stared at me, her limbs rigid. However, the very next moment, her face returned to normal, even showing a faint smile. Little Jai, come sit down and eat. Seeing that, I let out a sigh of relief. My deduction was correct. For the monster's 3 requests, applying the tactic of agreement, silence, and refusal in sequence is the right way to handle it. Afterward, as she pretended to serve me food, she secretly made several more requests. Little Jai, eat more vegetables. Little Jai, eat less rice. Little Jai, drink some soup. All of them were neutralized by my method. The monster's death trigger condition is likely being spoken to 3 times, or agreeing/refusing its requests 3 times in a row. Recommendation: in the future, when facing the monster's requests, use the 1 agree, 1 silent, 1 refuse method. There is no more debate. This is preparation for the next loop. Although I have escaped 1 death for now, I still cannot be sure if the opponent has only this 1 death trigger condition. To be safe, I must try my best to leave more clues for my future self. After typing this, I put away my phone and discovered a tall shadow behind me. It was no one else but my father. Unexpectedly, he had been silently watching me from behind all this time. Did you realize it too? Your mother has been replaced by a monster. My father's words startled me, but I quickly reacted. That's right. There's no way I'm the only one who discovered the secret of the loop. It turns out Father is in the same boat as me. He too is trapped in the loop. No wonder he didn't say a word while eating earlier. It seems he didn't dare to speak up randomly. I told him everything I knew. After listening, he frowned. But there is still a core problem. We have no way to get out. I tried to use this moment to open the front door and test it. It wouldn't budge. Even with the key, it remained locked tight. The monster must have used some supernatural power to seal this place. I was frustrated. It had been so hard to find a way to survive, but the house itself was locked down. What do we do? Are we just going to sit here and wait for death? I felt a sense of despair. Father hurriedly comforted me. It's okay. The two of us will figure out a way. Don't panic. No matter what happens, I will protect you. That's right, Dad. All this time, my sister hasn't left her room. Do you think she is like us? She discovered Mother is a monster and doesn't dare to come out? A sudden thought occurred to me, a detail I had overlooked. I became more and more convinced that this was possible. Perhaps my sister was also trapped in the monster's loop. With more people working together, the power would be greater. Maybe we could find a way out. But when I told Father, he frowned again, seemingly wanting to say something. I didn't pay much attention to his reaction, and immediately went to my sister's door and knocked 3 times. Sister, are you in there? Immediately, she opened the door and pulled me inside. My heart skipped a beat, and just as I was about to scream, a hand clamped over my mouth. Little Jai, don't make a sound. Both Mom and Dad have been replaced by monsters. What are you saying? How could that be? I know it's hard to believe, but after many loops, I've discovered that there isn't just one monster. My sister's face was deathly pale, her lips trembling. Hearing her say that, I suddenly recalled the note on my arm from the beginning. It said, "There is a monster that has snuck into the house." Not a monster. That meant there might really be more than one. However, I felt a vague sense of unease that I couldn't quite put my finger on. I looked at my sister, and a terrifying thought crossed my mind. If there is more than one monster, how can I be sure she hasn't been replaced too? In the worst-case scenario, both my parents and my sister have been replaced, and I am the only one still alive in this house. I looked at her, her expression unreadable. She seemed to be waiting for my response. There is a monster in the house. Every time I am killed by the monster, I fall into a loop. The monster can take the form of others. Never, ever trust anyone easily. The monster must follow certain rules. I have to find the new rules. The number of loops is limited. If I don't find a way out quickly, I'll be trapped here until I die. Well, do you believe me now? I've been through many loops. Using the clues left behind, I discovered the truth that Mom and Dad have been replaced. My sister recounted her experience. The moment she lowered her sleeve, I caught sight of her fingernails, painted a bright blood red. Sister, since when did you start wearing that nail polish? I didn't get it done out there. I painted it myself last night. I was planning to go out for a stroll with some friends today, but I never expected to encounter this monster and get stuck in this loop. It feels like a nightmare. Now is not the time for that. Do you know how to get out of this house? Or is there any way to kill the monster? I have some clues, but I haven't gathered many yet. Hearing that, I felt a wave of suspicion. Before I could grasp that strange feeling, I heard a hurried knocking at the door. Then, my father's anxious voice followed. Little Jai, why won't you come out? Are you okay? Oh no. If you stay in here, the monster will become suspicious. It's okay. Let me talk to him. Even if Dad really is a monster, as long as the death condition hasn't been triggered, he can't touch me. Or perhaps I couldn't completely trust my sister's one-sided story. What if she was the real monster? Staying in the same room with her could be a hidden danger. After weighing the options, I decided to open the door for my father first. That way, I could maintain a balance between the two of them. However, the moment I opened the door, all my calculations stopped. I saw my father's body suddenly grow massive, his eyes staring at me with terrifying, predatory hunger. My entire body felt weak. The bathroom is very important. The next second,
I wake up and quickly try to grasp what just happened, because it is hard to believe that I have spiraled through this loop so many times since this is already the 19th and I don't even know what the limit is. I mutter to myself as I try to figure out what Cycle 8 meant. since those were the last words I spoke before I died in the previous loop, and it must be important as it might even be the key to my escape. I checked the bathroom for a secret door or an exit, but I found nothing at all. The notes mentioned strange sounds and red writing in there, until just now when I heard my own voice echoing from outside the door saying, "The bathroom is important." Suddenly, it is like a lightning bolt struck my brain as the clues have finally formed a complete web. There is no doubt about it because the sound I heard was me from the previous loop. Since every time I die I fall into a new loop, but they aren't isolated as they overlap with the previous timeline, so I am hearing the echoes of my own dying moments. The first sound I heard wasn't from the kitchen, but the sound of long fingernails scratching against the bathroom door accompanied by those red letters. I look at my hands and see my nails are trimmed short and neat, so that scratching could never have come from me. There is only one person in this house with long nails, and that is my sister. The noise in the bathroom was actually my sister just before she died in the previous loop. Every time I wake up, I am hearing the final moments of the person who died before me, and that wasn't my voice, it was hers. Wait, if that wasn't my voice, then was I not dead in the previous loop? No, that's not it, because was there ever even a previous loop for me? What I thought was the 16th loop is actually my very first. In reality, the 15 deaths before me weren't mine, as they were my parents and my sister. My whole body trembles as I realize the truth that the loops have a limit of 5, and after 5 times a human is completely replaced by the monster. They have already been replaced, and these marks on my arm aren't my death count, as they are theirs. I am only on my 4th loop, not the 19th. I look at the carvings on my arm and realize I didn't carve these because the monster did. I have been led astray from the very beginning. I remember the recording and how my past self didn't doubt it at all because I was just reading the words carved on my sister's arm. Now I understand why. Even if we are all trapped, intelligence and luck dictate what we find, but the writing on her arm was almost identical to mine, with only tiny differences. That is completely irrational. The monster wanted us to know this because we have been puppets dancing in its palm. There is no way to turn the tables. I feel icy spikes growing in my marrow, and I am shivering uncontrollably. It is over. There is no hope left. Wait, no. I have to pull myself together. There must be a way. I didn't violate the death conditions last time, so why did I die? I open the recording interface on my phone and my finger freezes. The recording is 2 hours and 53 minutes long. I head back to the bedroom and say, "Open the door, I am coming out. Dad, Mom, eat without me." My head hurts, so I am going to sleep for a while. Wake me up in 3 hours. If the first rule is not to agree or disagree with the monster more than 3 times, and I didn't break that, then there is another reason for my death. If I add the time I spent listening to the recording, I survived exactly 3 hours. I will automatically die in 3 hours. To test this hypothesis, I intentionally emphasized to my parents, who had been replaced by monsters, that I would be resting in my room for 3 hours and would not come out. If my theory about the 3-hour limit is correct, the monsters will surely be happy to watch me find my own way to the end and won't bother me while I rest. Checking my phone, it has been 2.5 hours. During this time, none of the 3 of them came to knock on my door. I knew I had guessed correctly. The monster's second death condition is that if one cannot escape the loop within 3 hours, death is automatic. 3 requirements, 3 hours. Does the monster have a third death condition? I looked at the dense, small text on my arm and suddenly realized what it was. The monster is forced to tell the victim its basic rules. These rules include: the monster's nature brings about the loop. The loop has a limited number of times it can occur, and the monster can shapeshift into a human. That makes exactly 3 things. As for the extra bit about the monster being able to alter memories, that was definitely to deceive me. The reason is simple. If it were true, the monster wouldn't need to tell me about the loop at all. If my memory were erased, I would simply live the day like any normal day, unknowingly pass the 3-hour mark, and then meet my death. Every loop would continue the same way. I would meet my death countless times without ever knowing it. I shouldn't have discovered the monster's existence at all, yet it proactively told me. Either this monster is an idiot with a perverted hobby of watching me struggle in despair, or it proves that it must tell me in order to trigger the conditions. The limitation on the number of loops was something I verified through each cycle. As for the memory alteration, that never happened once. If the death loop could already erase my memory, would there be any need to alter it? That was intentionally added to provide me with false information. The monster's actual powers are limited to 3 things. Its death conditions are also limited to 3. The person knows the 3 powers of the monster. The person continuously agrees, refuses the monster's 3 requests. The person... I had stepped into the jaws of death. However, a smile appeared on my face. I should be lucky that the monster's loop limit wasn't 3 times, but 5. Currently, I am only in the 4th loop. I still have one final chance because I know how to resolve this. The monster's existence depends on the victim's thoughts. Only when the victim knows there is a monster in the house does it exist. If the victim doesn't know, the monster disappears completely. This explains why the monster carved the words onto my arm. It was reminding me that the monster is in the house. There were only 10 minutes left of the 3-hour limit. I quickly gathered all the scraps of paper I'd collected, burned them into ash, and deleted all the recordings on my phone. Then I washed away the writing on my arm. That way, in the next loop, I won't know there is a monster in the house. Once the work was done, the 10-minute deadline arrived. The next second, I lost consciousness. Very quickly, I was awakened by the sensation of pain. Opening my eyes, I discovered my arm was injured. What happened? What occurred? I fought through the pain and ran out of my room in terror, wanting to find my parents for help. Dad, Mom, where is everyone? My arm is hurt. Please take me to the hospital, sis. Are you home? Why is no one answering? I screamed until my throat was raw, but received no response from anyone. Had they all gone out at the exact same time? That couldn't be a coincidence. Finally, I gritted my teeth and called an ambulance myself. At the hospital, the doctor bandaged my arm. When I returned home, I found that there was still no one in sight. Since that day, my family has mysteriously disappeared. No one has seen a trace of them since. Could they have been kidnapped by bad people? But if it were a kidnapping, they would have called to demand a ransom, right? So that theory doesn't hold up. Could they have been eaten by the monster? How could that be? How could there be monsters in this world? But when I woke up that day, what was the deal with my arm? Why were there so many wounds? I have a premonition. That is a mystery I will never be able to solve. Once you intentionally try to uncover this mystery, perhaps one day you will end up like them.